Egotastic car time. Hey gang, I'm JP and I'm inside a time machine. Doc Brown's DeLorean from Back to the Future Part 1. I thought I would just do a car time video real quick inside the DeLorean. What? What just happened? I was in the DeLorean a second ago. The sweet, beautiful DeLorean. Damn it, time travel sucks. Hey gang, I'm JP and welcome back to Talking The Orville on Egotastic FunTime. Car Time Edition. Jeez, it's freaking hot in here. My skin is Geloja-ing all over the place. Geloja! Today we're going to have a great time talking about the latest episode of the Orville Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow. Right here in my car. Wow, this episode was great, you guys. Tomorrow and Tomorrow and Tomorrow, of course, you know, we're thinking, oh, is there a time loop with a title like that? I was thinking, oh, possibly it might be a time loop. But it was very different. We had a time distortion that affected things in dire ways. One of you last night during the live show, when we were looking at pictures and we saw like this little funnel, this cone thing in one of the pictures on the views, on one of the monitors that Isaac was looking at. And someone said, oh, it looks like the anti-banana ray. And it was the anti-banana ray. Isaac's, I guess, made a newer version of it that's going to be more awesomer than stupid Armoff's, you know, killing bananas, big whoop. We need no longer fear the banana. But you do got to fear Isaac, because when there's a gravitational whatever that you accidentally hit while the while the anti-banana ray is turned on and you're close enough and you're thinking about something in your life, that thing is going to pull that version of you through time. We get an intruder aboard the ship thanks to the anti-banana ray. Kelly from 7 years in the past. Well, it's not even a copy of Kelly. It is really Kelly from 7 years ago. She got pulled out of her time, brought 7 years into the future, onto the Orville. Well, now Kelly, the future version of Kelly, the present version of Kelly, I guess is what we want to say. Just don't say old Kelly, new Kelly. So, of course, it comes back to Ed and Kelly in this episode. We're finally getting some Ed and Kelly stuff going on in this season. We waited the whole season for it. So, of course, Ed is still in love with Kelly, right? Kelly, we know she loves Ed, but she's like, no, it's not going to work out. Captain and Commander is not going to be a good fit to have a proper, you know, to captain properly. So she keeps turning him down, as I think she's right. I think she is correct. I don't think a captain and a commander should be, you know, in a relationship together. Well, we know it shouldn't work. It's kind of unprofessional, I would say. But also, because she was saying last season, oh, we shouldn't be together because you're not going to be able to be objective when making decisions. You're going to favor me, all this stuff. If you have to send someone down on a mission to die, basically, you're never going to pick me, even if I'm the right person for that mission. But of course, I would say he wouldn't do that anyway. Even if they're not together, he still loves her, and he's still going to not be able to be objective, right? So, I don't know. It could go either way. This is a two-part finale. So, last night's episode is the first part of the finale. So, we're already in finale mode, you guys. We got one more episode left to finish this storyline out. I have no idea where it's going. I don't know if, well, obviously, at the end of the episode, Kelly, for some reason, and I have no idea why, she got sent back to her time. Her memory was supposed to be erased. We don't know for sure if that actually happened or not, if that actually worked. But when Ed calls her to ask for a second date back in her time, she turns him down. When she was aboard the Orville, they kept telling her, hey, you weren't there. You didn't see how devastated he was from the divorce. The marriage didn't work out. Conversely, Kelly thought she would be married with kids and be a captain 7 years later, which I think is kind of unreasonable. How are you going to have kids and be a captain? You're probably going to have to wait to have kids if you want to be the captain of a ship. But hey, it's the 25th century. They could probably make it work. They have very good schools aboard these ships, Marina Sirtis. So maybe she did remember when she gets sent back. Perhaps she remembered the hurt that they kept talking about with Ed. She obviously, even that earlier version of her, does care about him a little bit. She was ready to get all freaky deaky on the ship with Ed. She was about to, and Ed's like, I'm in love with another version of you. Which just gotta feel pretty lame to be dumped by somebody because they're in love with another version of you. So I'm guessing she remembers her experience on the Orville. So she turned Ed down. We don't know what the repercussions of that's going to be next episode, you guys. Is Ed even going to be on the ship? Is she going to be the captain of the ship? Is Kelly going to be the captain of the ship with kids, with a mate? Are they going to bring Cassius back? Maybe she's dating Cassius again. Maybe they're married. Is Ed even aboard? Is he serving on the ship? Is it like that episode of TNG where Q made it so that Picard never, got stabbed by that Nausicaan, and then he wakes up, he's back on the Enterprise, but he's totally different. He works in science department or something like that. How weird was it to see Kelly wearing green? That was crazy. How about them bangs? Kelly rocks bangs, you guys. I'm incredibly excited. I'm on pins and needles waiting to see how this all turns out next week, because that is the final episode of the Orville season 2. And we don't even know if we're getting a season 3. What if there's a cliffhanger on a cliffhanger on a cliffhanger that we're supposed to wait till season 3 to get the conclusion of, and then it doesn't get renewed, and then we're just out of luck. # renew the Orville. It's safe to say that next week, things are going to be different aboard the ship. Ed's either not going to be there, or he's just going to be in some lowly role. Maybe he's the commander and they never had that relationships, because he was working hard to get up to go up through the ranks. So maybe she's the captain, he's the commander, Bortus is Bortus, and Clyden is a girl. I don't know. We're going to find out. Adrian Palicki, good job. She had to play 2 roles of the same character 2 different ways. Present Kelly is very established, so now she had to dive deep into her younger self and pull out past Kelly, which is very different. Kelly's changed a lot in 7 years, apparently, because past Kelly, is young, fun. Kelly wants to party all the time, party all the time, party all the time. The crew loves her because she's a barrel of laughs, you guys, telling great party jokes. Love that story about her sliding through a conduit naked in her underwear. That was fun. Present Kelly doesn't want her telling all those stories because she has an image to uphold. Past Kelly told present Kelly, "Oh, you're a disappointment to me. I wanted to be further in my career. You put up a wall with your crew. That's not what I wanted to be. You suck, Kelly." If Ed and Kelly never got together, that means, and this was all set up in Lasting Impressions, you guys, when Kelly was talking with Gordon about his hollow girlfriend, and she's like, well, without Ed, I would have been a totally different person. Kelly can't cross her eyes one at a time anymore. So now we're going to see next week what Kelly is like if she never had Ed in her life. Also, I want to know, how are they going to figure out that there's something wrong? If the timeline has changed, they're not going to be aware of it. None of them are. So how are they going to figure out, hey, something's wrong? Just like that episode of TNG, Cause and Effect, they didn't know they were looping. They had to figure it out. There had to be little signs, right, that popped up, says, hey, something's wrong here. And then they finally figured out, hey, we're going through a time loop and didn't even know it. Like that one time I went to the dentist for a root canal, and it turns out I also got a colonoscopy. So Kelly and Ed at the beginning of the episode had that conversation again where he's like, hey, look, if you're into it, if you want to get back together, I am all for it. And she's like, no, it's not a good idea, brah. I don't think we should do that. And then we get the new younger Kelly, who doesn't have all those experiences with Ed, but she did have the first date, and she really likes him. All of a sudden, Ed's got a new chance at love with the woman that he's loved for years, Kelly, but it's the younger Kelly. And I didn't even think, oh, he could date her now. It just didn't even cross my mind. And then past Kelly is like, hey, you want to, go out on a second date? And right then I was like, oh, that's going to be awkward. But I knew it was a bad idea. And for all the same reasons that Kelly gave him a couple scenes later, where she's like, look, this is the younger version of me. I've grown, you've grown, we've grown together. We have this relationship now that's wonderful. For her, I guess it's wonderful. wants, to get some of that. The person he is today wouldn't be interested in Kelly 7 years ago. So I knew that was coming up. Oh, the dancing, you guys. So Kelly takes the crew to her favorite club in the environmental simulator. It was great to see the crew having a great time. Well, except for Ed and Gordon. They were sitting there like two curmudgeons, drinking their drink and hating on the music, which is exactly what I would do. If I was there, I'd be sitting right there with them. But it's great to see Tala letting loose. Tala let her hair down, guys. Can you believe it? Tala is this, awesome security officer. She takes care of business, but she's also a young, fun person. She likes to go out and dance and have a good time and be young. So that was great to see her do that. And it was great to see past Kelly have fun, because we never get to see present Kelly have fun. Man, I hate this whole past Kelly, present Kelly thing. It's a mouthful, okay? And I have to think every time I say their names. They only have one name, but I have to make I have to differentiate you guys for this review. Speaking of letting loose, how about that Bortus and Clyden and their sick moves? Mocklins know how to step up. I don't know, were they on drugs or something like that? Because they were just really hitting it hard. Like that music was some sort of intoxicating drug or something like that they couldn't control themselves. So it was actually really cool, though, to see the two Mocklins that are usually always fighting. They're always fighting. They're always in a fight. Somebody stabbing somebody or deceiving somebody, right? But it's nice to see the two of them having an amazing time together. We're still waiting to hear if Bortus can actually sing, but I can tell you, that fool can dance. My big question about Bortus and his people that they have not yet answered this season is how many Mocklins could a Mocklin mock if a Mocklin could mock Mocklins? The Orville put out my favorite episode. It's like every week they put out my favorite episode, and they did it again. So good job, show. And good job to Gary S. Rake, who is the director of tonight's episode. He's been working on the Orville for a very long time as the first AD, which is a big to-do. But they put him in the captain's chair for this episode. I don't know if that's going to continue on to the second part of the finale. I would think so. If you're going to have somebody direct, one part of a two-parter, you would make them direct the second part too, I would think. That way you have the same vision along the way. Got a little bit of an update with the Kalons in this episode. The Orville's just flying around like you do, and all of a sudden, there's some Kalons detected way over there, but I don't think they've seen this yet. Oh, hells no, Captain Mercer says. Let's get out of here. No. Boom. Change direction and go into quantum Gordon, and Gordon's like, beep, beep, beep. You got it, dude. But the Kalon did get a whiff of their scent and pursued. Past Kelly came up with this awesome idea. Hey, there's these rings around the planet that are all ice and whatnot. Let's go ahead and sit on one of them ice rocks, vent some water, turn to ice, and we'll just blend in. The visuals of the ice, at least on my computer screen when I was watching it, looked incredibly awesome. I can't wait to rewatch it on my 4K TV. Toshiba 1080 all the P's, you guys. Fire TV built in. Alexa, fire up the Orville on Hulu, please. Oh, she's not here. So that whole scene where they're all covered in ice and you can kind of see through the windows through the ice, and you see the Kalon go by. Pretty awesome. Nice little update. I don't know if the Kalon are going to come into play in the next episode. I would think so. We got to have some big to-do, a little bit of a to-do. I want to see how this change in the timeline is going to affect things when we come back next week with the episode The Road Not Taken. I want to see, what's changed. Did the Kalon actually end up destroying Earth? What's going on with that? Is the Union scattered around the galaxy at this point? Are the Kalon a huge problem? If you're going to have Kalons show up just for a little teaser in this episode, I would think they'd have a bigger presence in the next episode, but of course we'll just have to wait and see. Having two Kellys kind of reminded me of that episode of TNG, I think it's called Second Chances, maybe, where they beamed down to that planet where Riker was on a mission years and years and years ago, and he transported out, and apparently there was some sort of transporter malfunction where it actually cloned him, and he decided to call himself Thomas Riker, because, William T. Riker. The T stands for Thomas. Though I would have just straight up said, hey, I'm Tiberius Riker. Nice to meet you. Boom. So we had a little bit of that dynamic where we have two versions of the same person with different experiences from different, points in their life, basically. Boom, 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 boom. Conflict. But then, of course, the two Kellys come together at the end. Boom, boom, boom. Unity. Guessing that the memory wipe, when they sent her back, didn't work out. She remembered some stuff, or she just had a feeling, because those experiences, despite the wipe, did happen. So maybe they still affected her somewhere in there beyond memories. Just gave her this gut feeling this isn't going to work out. When they're all at the end having that big meeting about what to do about sending her back, wiping her memory, Past Kelly says, "Oh, it worked. It worked because and that's why you don't remember any of this, because they wiped my memory, but it all worked out." That must not be true, because she went back and she changed the timeline. So now we have to see, did this start off a whole new world, a whole new multiverse? I want to travel through time to the future so I can start watching season 3 now. But time after time won't give me time. I love this episode. I love the performances. I am dead set, super duper invested in how this ends up next week. That cliffhanger, it was a small little moment, but it was really a big moment, because we know that the ramifications are going to be huge. Adrian Palicki, amazing job. Seth MacFarlane, there's a lot of kissing scenes. You guys, I'm pretty sure Scotty Grimes was not too happy about that part too. I love you kids. I want Ed and Kelly together, but go get a room, you two. Kelly was washing her mouth out with Ed. Ugh. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to talk about today, and I talked about it. That's my first impression of last night's episode of The Orville. Tomorrow and tomorrow and tomorrow. How about you? What did you think of that episode? Are you sitting on the edge of your seat waiting for next week's finale to find out the exciting conclusion to Kelly messing everything up with their stupid time travel ways? You can let me know what you think by joining the conversation below. Thank you so much for liking, sharing, and supporting my stupid show. It really does mean the world to me. I'll see you very soon, and as always, I hope all your times are egotastic fun times. Love you, bye-bye. Egotastic fun time, we're gonna have a great time. Egotastic fun time, give me all your money. Give me all your money. You will find me funny. Just give me money. I need money. I need to go back in time.